Hey guys, welcome to a new monthly pickup video for October 2012. Feels like I just did this, and that's because I did. I put out a monthly pickup video last week for the games that I picked up throughout the months of July, August, and September. So if you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. But here and now, we're focusing on the month of October. There were some great games that came out, and I picked up quite a few. So definitely want to share my thoughts and opinions on them. I usually start things off with the portable games, but I figure I'd switch it up a little bit and start with the console games. And the first game I want to share with you guys is Dishonored. I got it for the Xbox 360. Now, the crazy thing is I'm a little ashamed that I haven't spent enough time with Dishonored. I've played about a good almost 3 hours, and there's something about it that hasn't captivated me. Thought I was just gonna fall in love with this game, and that very well may possibly happen. But it's not hooking me in the beginning. I think I actually am in the second big story mission, and I just keep getting so frustrated. For those of you that don't know, Dishonored is a game that you can play through. Either you could play through it, stealth, or you could go all out and shoot and kill and do whatever to your enemies. And I'm trying to play it stealth because I do enjoy stealth games, but I keep getting frustrated with the game. I'll get caught by an enemy and I just honestly go back and restart. And I think that's where my downfall is. I'm trying to go through everything stealth and it's not working. So after I clear up a few of the other games that I picked up this month, I'm definitely going to go back to Dishonored and try to beat it. I heard it's not a long game at all. This seems to be the month of racing games. I picked up the 2 racing games that came out this month. The first one, Need for Speed Most Wanted. I haven't had a chance to play because I just got it yesterday. Target had a buy 2, get 1 free sale, and this is one of the games that I picked up. So I haven't had a chance to play it. I played one of the other games that I got from that sale. The second racer I picked up is Forza Horizon. It's for the Xbox 360 once again, and apparently this is another game that's better with the Kinect sensor. I haven't tried it out yet. I didn't play Most Wanted, but I spent a hell of a lot of time playing Forza Horizon. It's an awesome game. As you guys can see here, I did get the limited collector's edition, which really isn't anything to write home about. You get this cool steelbook case and some codes to unlock cars. You get this VIP access thingy, which gives you decals and the VIP membership, and you get an accelerator pack, which gives you some tokens, which allows you to unlock cars if you want to, or other things around the world. But the game is really, really good. And then we have here Assassin's Creed 3 for the Xbox 360. This is the Target edition, which comes with some skins for multiplayer. I could really care less. Yeah, I got this from Target. This is my second game out of the buy 2, get 1 free. And the third game I got for my son, WWE 13, because he's a fan of wrestling. He loves wrestling. Assassin's Creed 3. Got that. And this was my pre-order steelbook case, which I put the game in. This actually comes with 2 discs, so I don't know how that's going to work. I guess I'm going to have to stack them in this steelbook. So I'll just use the steelbook because I think it looks better. Assassin's Creed 3 so far feels a lot better than any of the other Assassin's Creed games. The controls just feel better. I'm only about 2 hours in. I haven't even gotten to the main character yet, Connor. I haven't even gotten a chance to play him. But the story's really interesting, and I'm liking what they're doing with this whole new environment. I'm on a ship, going around talking to dudes. It's just really, really cool. But I'm glad that they're wrapping up this whole Desmond thing. I'm glad that they're wrapping that up because honestly, you start the game off and I was just totally confused. What is going on here? I didn't know any of the stuff that they were saying in the beginning of the game. For those of you that have started the game, then you probably know what I'm talking about, but it was a little confusing. And I'm glad that this is the end of Desmond as we know it, because honestly, I don't really like Desmond that much. But it looks good. So far, you can tell that there are some, I don't know, like some of the textures look a little, I don't know, drowned out a little bit. They just don't look as sharp, which is, whatever, considering the fact that this is a huge game. They have to make sacrifices somewhere. But so far, so good. I'm enjoying the game, and this is the game that I am going to be playing until I complete it, and then I'm going to try out the multiplayer. This isn't going to be another Revelations, because I didn't get a chance to complete Revelations. So once I'm done with this, I'll wait a little bit, and I'll go back to Revelations and play that. And then the last console game that I want to share with you guys is Resident Evil 6. Yes, I picked up Resident Evil 6. And I was a little upset that this game got a bad rap. Like, the reviews for this game, for the most part, were terrible. They were terrible. And I couldn't really understand why. I completed all of the 4 campaigns: Leon, Chris, Jake, and Ada. And while there were times where I was frustrated and almost at my wit's end with Jake's campaign, I will say, I still didn't think it was a horrible game. As gamers, we don't really like change, or at least some of us don't like change, and that's unfortunate. Change is a part of life, regardless if it's gaming or your real life. It's inevitable. Change is gonna happen, and I don't think people like the fact that Resident Evil has changed into what it used to be. It used to be a survival horror game, and now it's not. It's an action game. And we saw the makings of this in Resident Evil 4. We saw that Resident Evil was changing. Resident Evil 4 wasn't necessarily a survival horror game. It wasn't. There were a few scary parts, but compared to Resident Evil 3, definitely Resident Evil 2, and the first Resident Evil 4 changed. Did it change for the better? Of course. Resident Evil 4 is an amazing game. But it also kind of changed for the worse. And I'm saying that as a survival horror fan. I like the genre. And I was kind of sad, as much as I love Resident Evil 4, I was kind of sad to see that it wasn't going in that direction anymore. But I got over it. And I played Resident Evil 5, and I enjoyed that. Played Resident Evil 6, and honestly, deep down, I enjoyed it. There's some problems with the camera. Apparently, there's going to be a patch in December or sometime that's going to fix the camera issues. There's some problems with the camera. And it's not scary. It's full of explosions, and I won't say it's full of QuickTime events, but there are a lot of QuickTime events. And cutscenes. It's full of that. It's more or less a big budget, action game. And there's times where it plays out really well, where I really enjoyed it. More specifically in Ada Wong's campaign, I really enjoyed that campaign, and I really enjoyed Leon's campaign, and for the most part, Chris's campaign. It was Jake's campaign that I really couldn't get a handle of. I really didn't like it too much. But you got your co-op partners with you, and I can understand why people want to enjoy this game. If you didn't like Resident Evil 5, chances are you're probably not going to like Resident Evil 6, because it's very similar in that regard. I have no problems with Resident Evil 6. Is it going to be my game of the year? No, I'm telling you that right now. But I enjoyed what I played of it. I hope that the next Resident Evil game could be a little bit more focused, because honestly, I like what they did with the story. They told an interesting story through different perspectives, and they kind of intertwined, which is really cool. The stories intertwined throughout each campaign. You would be fighting a boss, and you would see, if you were playing as Leon, you would come up on, Chris. And I thought that was awesome. It's a good game. I don't think it's great, but I think it's good. Again, it got bad reviews, and I don't know if it deserved those horrible reviews that it got, but I can understand why some people would be put off by this game. But honestly, from my perspective, as a Resident Evil fan, I honestly think this is an alright game. It's not horrible, Moving on to the portables, the first game I want to share with you guys is for the Nintendo 3DS. It's Code of Princess. Code of Princess is fun. It's this, I guess it's a spiritual successor to Guardian Heroes. I've never played Guardian Heroes, so I don't know the whole backstory on that. But for when I've played of Code of Princess, I'm digging it. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a beat 'em up with hilarious dialogue. The characters are really good in this game. It's just funny. There's been plenty of times that I've laughed at this game. The dialogue is written like really well. It also has co-op. You can play co-op. There's co-op missions. I haven't tried that out yet. Really cool thing I like about this game though is not only is it a beat 'em up, a brawler, but it's also kind of like an RPG because your characters level up. You can switch the gear, you know, you can switch your weapon, your gloves, you know, all the items and stuff like that. So I really like that about this game. You can kind of micromanage it. And you can play it in short bursts, which is what I've been doing. The missions don't really last that long, or at least so far I haven't encountered any long missions, but it's a really good game. All right, you guys have to promise not to laugh at me, but I am a total nerd. Like, I really enjoy crosswords, which is why I picked up Crosswords Plus for the 3DS. This is retailing for $29.99, 30 bucks, but I didn't pay 30 bucks for it. I had a Target gift card for $15, so it was half that. It was 15 bucks, which is the sweet spot for me, which is why I picked it up. I really enjoyed this game. It's good. If any of you have played Crosswords on the original DS, I'm sure you're absolutely gonna love this game. It's definitely a lot better. I did unlock the hard crossword puzzles, and they're kind of hard. But there's also other things in this game. You have word search, which is something that I've been spending a lot of time with. It's really just, you know, a time waster, something that, you know, I can pick up and play 10, 15 minutes, have a short break, whatever, and then go back to doing whatever it is that I'm doing. So, you know, I enjoy that. There's also like spot pass stuff. You get new puzzles through spot pass. There's anagrams. There's just all kinds of things, all kinds of nerdy word games all up in this Crosswords Plus. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, definitely check it out. Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. Finally, I get Layton all up in 3D. I've been waiting for this since like what, February of last year when it came out in Japan, and finally it's made its way over to North America. I don't know, I'm excited, but I guess I'm not that excited because I haven't actually had a chance to play this yet. You guys know I love me some Professor Layton, and Luke is a little creepy, but I still love Luke. And this is like Layton's last hurrah. This is his last like adventure. So, you know, I'm kind of sad about that, but I want to see where they're going to go with this series. I don't think they could leave this series high and dry. I'm sure Luke will take over somewhere along the line and definitely make Professor Layton proud. But if any of you guys have started playing this game, or you beat this game already, even though it just came out like last week, I think, let me know, because I heard the story's pretty good in this one, and I didn't really like the story in the last Professor Layton, but so far the series hasn't done me wrong. If this game isn't a black hole, I don't know what is. This is the definition of black hole right here. Skylanders Giants. Your money will totally just toss it out the window, throw it out, because once you get hooked on these Skylanders, it's no turning back, I tell you. Skylanders Giants, got it for the 3DS. I didn't get the console version just because, you know, start off with the 3DS, and once I'm done with this, then I'll move on to the consoles. I've played like 2 levels so far, and it's good. It's similar to Skylanders, the original Skylanders on the 3DS. It's more platform based. But honestly, Giants doesn't have as much platforming as the original Skylanders did. At least I haven't come across as much platforming as I did in the first Skylanders game. I also have to say that I don't really like the Giants too much. I really don't. As far as the gameplay goes, just because they're really slow, like the Giants are slow, and I totally get it. Duh, they're giants, so, you know, they're not going to be fast, quick, and nimble like the little Skylanders are, but the Giants, the figures look cool, but they don't play that great in these games, or at least in this game. I don't know how it is in the console version. Another 3DS game that I picked up is Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward, which is the sequel to 999, which came out last year for the Nintendo DS. Man, this is a crazy game. I'm nowhere near completing this game. I think it has more endings than the first game. And honestly, in 999, I only got 2 of the endings. So I totally need to go back and get all of the other endings so I can know everything. But this game is really good. It looks really good. The characters are really, really good. There's great character development in this game so far. I like the puzzles. I really like the puzzles. Some of the characters, though, going back to the characters, some of the characters are annoying and I want to know what happens with them. But right now I've gotten to this part, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone that's played it or thinking about playing it, but I've gotten to this part where basically you're playing kind of similar to 999. You're playing this game. It's called the Notary game or the Nonary game, Amberdex edition. So it's crazy. And yeah, you start off and you're locked in this elevator shaft thingy, or at least I think it's an elevator shaft. I don't know. Whatevs. You're locked in this room and you got to find a way to escape the room. So there's little, you know, puzzle solving things that you have to do in order to open up this safe and get out of the room. And it's really cool. So far, the puzzles that I have completed in this game have really been interesting. It's not just your basic stuff. It takes some thought to it. And it takes some really exploring your locations, your area, to actually come up with the right answer in solving this puzzle or these puzzles. So I'm interested in definitely playing more. I think I'm just going to play through this, go back to 999, and play through the rest of those endings, and that won't take long. And then come back and try to get all the different endings in this. But it's a visual novel, you know, and I know that's not something that everyone's down with. I know everyone isn't into visual novels, but you should definitely give it a chance. It's a really good story. Now, since I did pre-order it off of Amazon, I was lucky enough to get the little watch that is like the big thing with this game. It comes with this watch. I mean, it's nothing special, but it's pretty cool. All of the characters in the game have these watches, which are basically like bracelets that they can't take off. And it's basically like their lifeline, kind of like, you know. So I thought it was pretty cool that I actually got one of these watches. Cool little item that really has no relevance, but it's in my collection anyway. And then moving on to the PlayStation Vita, the PS Vita, which has been getting a lot of love nowadays from me. In the beginning of the month, I picked up Silent Hill Book of Memories. Yes, Silent Hill Book of Memories has finally hit store shelves. I don't know if it's easy to find, but I found it at GameStop. I picked it up. I actually had it pre-ordered. But it is a Silent Hill game. It's put out by WayForward. WayForward developed this, and it's pretty badass. It's pretty dope. Now, I just went on this little tirade about Resident Evil and how the series has changed. This is more or less a spin-off. Don't think your traditional Silent Hill, because that's not what you're getting when you play Book of Memories. You're getting a top-down dungeon crawling RPG, which has some little sprinkles of Silent Hill. You basically start off and you play as a character that you create. There aren't many customizations for your character, but you create a character nonetheless. And a mailman comes to your door one evening. Actually, it's the mailman from Silent Hill Downpour. Comes to your door, gives you this present. It's your birthday. I think it's your birthday. Maybe it's not your birthday, but you get this present and you open it up and it's this book and you think, oh wow, what if and this book has like all of your memories in it from like your past birthdays when you were younger, parties, people that you've come across, just memories that you had. And basically your character thinks, what will happen if I rewrite this book? And from there on out, you go down this twisted story of rewriting this book. It's like changing your past almost. I mean, it's really dark. It's a dark game, but it's not your traditional Silent Hill. It reminds me a little bit more of Diablo. I mean, it's a dungeon crawler. It's an RPG. You level up your character. You have dual wielding weapons. You can pick up a bat. You can pick up a knife. Well, actually, you can't pick up both of those at the same time because a bat requires 2 hands and a knife requires 1. So you can either pick up a bat or a pipe and use that, or you could pick up like, I don't know, a knife and a wine bottle. So you could have two weapons in each hand and you can just beat your enemies up. But the cool thing is though, it really requires you to be a little strategic because those weapons take damage. They'll deteriorate over time. So if you use them too much, that's it, they're gone. So you go through these rooms and you have to find puzzle pieces, and then once you've completed all that, you have to go back to this main room and figure out the puzzle. I mean, it has boss battles. It's a good game. It has online. It's a good game. I really haven't heard anyone talking about this game. I don't know, maybe it's going to go under the radar, but I definitely don't think it's terrible. It's been delayed a bunch of times. I think this was supposed to come out when the beta first launched, but it's out now, and I definitely think you should take a look at it if you're into like dungeon crawlers. And then finally, the last game that I have to share with you guys this month, it's Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation for the PlayStation Vita. I just started playing this earlier today, so my impressions aren't that deep. I'm only like 2 hours into it, maybe a little less than 2 hours. But it's pretty cool. I mean, it's Assassin's Creed in your hands, you know, on a portable system, which I'm a fan of. You play as a female assassin, which is interesting. Never before have we played as a female assassin in the series. So you play as this female assassin. I think she's French and African or something like that. She's biracial. And I heard that this game has like little hints of like race relations and stuff like that in it, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know how far that's gonna go, but yeah, the gameplay is pretty cool. It has this whole persona mechanism where, you know, you can take the character Aveline and change her clothes. So you can change her into like slave wear. She'll have a slave outfit, and she can do different things when she's dressed in the slave outfit. So she's able to be a little bit more nimble. She can climb and traverse and all the things that you're used to in Assassin's Creed games, you know, rooftop to rooftop. And then you can have her like as a lady where she's all dressed up and looking nice. And she can't really climb. She can't get on rooftops, none of that. She runs a little bit slower, but she can charm guards and stuff like that. So there's definitely a little bit of different, you know, gameplay elements in there. I can say that the parkour or the traversing of the rooftops is pretty good. It's pretty good. And I love the fact that this is on the Vita, so it has that right analog stick that you can use for the camera. Perfect. Works great. So we'll see. I'm in the process of playing this. Let me know if you guys want to see a review on it. I don't know if people are really checking for this game, but I'm excited for it, and I like what I've played so far. I've wasted enough of your time, guys. I want to thank all of you guys for watching this video, and I'll check you next time.